瀬ちゃんは私についてこれる？試してみますか。まあ、大胆ですね。なんだ。
Oh, I'm getting confused. Hi everyone, my name is Mimi and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be reacting to Classroom of the Elite Season 4. Yeah, Episode 7, Plotting. And last episode, they were basically trying to pair up, I guess, for this upcoming test. And Ayanokoji has decided to go alone. He's not gonna pair up with anybody. He has been given this trial card, and I don't know how that's gonna affect him in the long run, but they were worried about him not being able to get rid of this trial card. I guess we'll see. Karuizawa was also worried because she wanted to pair up with him so that she can feel safe, but then he's like, I'm gonna find you the points that you need in order to not get expelled, should you need it. You also have Karuizawa and Ichinose also team up, I guess. And what else? Ike and Shinohana. There was this whole deal with them two pairing up and not pairing up, and Shinohana pairing up with somebody else, and Ike just feeling all dejected. And I'm like, boy, it's your fault. So, yeah, that's what happened last episode. And before we get into this one, if you guys like my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/fairlymini. And now let's start this episode. And here we go. Okay, guys, in case the reaction gets blocked and I had to cut out the reaction itself, you can just look in the pinned comments in the comment section where for the link to the reaction highlight itself, so you can just click on it, watch it, and then you just come back for my review.
まだ八神だけのようだな。
いやあ、Utomiya君、なんとなく C クラスの代表は君なんじゃないかって思っていたよ。とても残念だったね。
ああ。ホーセンは来ると思うか。
半々ってところじゃないかな。
おお、リークに拓也、やっぱりお前らか。
おさむ君はまた厄介事を押し付けられた形ですか？
機嫌を取ってまで要請するほどじゃない。
そうもいかないみたいだぜ、リーク。
Okay, so these are the first years. Utomiya is from class C. It seems like Osamu is from class A. So is Yagami from class B?
手に追っ始めようとすんじゃねえな。
暴力をこの場に持ち込むのはやめてもらおう。
ああ、邪魔をするつもりか？
必要ならそうする。
Okay. How strong are you?
くだらない。だがお前が望むならここで答えてやってもいい。
Okay.
俺は誰かが畑野を退学させたと睨んでいる。
それが俺だと？
貴様以外に誰がいる？
二人とも落ち着けよ。
単なる暇つぶしですか？
そうだと言ったら。
信じないですね。君はそれほどバカじゃない。そこで僕ら1年生で力を合わせて強力な4人グループを最低でも1つ作る必要があると考えた。
つまり俺たちはこの特別試験でクラスポイントを競い合わないということか。
うん。ホーセン君を無視して3クラスで協力してもこの部分をみすみす捨てるのはもったいないよ。だから手を貸してほしい。
いいぜ、協力してやっ。
条件を聞きましょうか。
本戦の大グループ、空いた2枠には D クラスの生徒を入れろ。
なるほど。D クラスの2人を入れられない場合は4人でクリアしろということですか。
ふざけるなよ、ホーセン。
ふざけてねえよ。
僕はその条件でもいいと思っています。この試験は1年生が勝つことこそが重要なのです。それ以外は損害に当たりません。
綾小路くん、ちょっといいかな？
No.
どうした？
実は綾小路くんに会いたいって1年生がいるんだけど。
そうなのか？
会いたいっていうのは
Is it Yagami?
なんだけどな。ごめんね。
Sakura-san.
そ
それにしても櫛田はもう1年生と仲良くなったんだな。
もう7月だよ。時間はたくさんあったと思うけど。なんだ。まあ、慌てる必要はないもんね。
You're gonna drop her sweets.
櫛田先輩、
綾小路くんに会いたい。
Uh-huh.
いただきありがとうございます。
確か1年 B クラスだったな。
Okay.
はい、
I was right.
八神拓也です。1年生たちの間で極めて限定的に告知されている特別試験のことはもうご存知ですよね。話しても構いませんか？
俺に止める権利はないからな。
ことの始まりは入学して間もない頃、南雲生徒
Oh, so it was from Nagumo.
綾小路くんは大学？それに2000万ってすごい。
That is it though.
それにせよ、誰かを陥れることで得られる報酬に興味を持てなかったので、一切参加する気はありませんでした。
Okay.
生徒会長から言い渡された時、その場に立会人として月城理事長代理が同席していたんです。その場にいた1年生は A クラスから高橋、 C クラスからは僕、 C クラスからは宇宮陸君、そして D クラスからは宝泉和臣君と。
どうして俺に話そうと思ったんだ？
宝泉君が先手を打ったものの失敗したという話を耳にしました。それともう一つ、このまま放置しておけば綾小路先輩、場合によってはクラスメイトの櫛田先輩にまで被害が及んでられる分には覚悟しています。もともと他のクラスとはぶつかる運命にありますから、気をつけてくださいね、綾小路先輩。普通に考えれば宝泉君ですが、あえて一人だけ指名するとしたら、いえ、やめておきます。ここで名前を挙げれば当然先輩たちはその生徒をマークしますよね。それは同じ1年生としてフェアではないかな。その無人島試験が終わった後で構わないのですが、櫛田先輩へお話があります。
わかった。知ってるよ、八神くんは私の過去を。
それはつまり？
早いうちに消えてもらわないとね。堀北さんや綾小路くんだって例外じゃない。
俺とは休戦協定を結んでるんじゃなかったか？
今はおとなしくしてる。
一体どんな話なんだ？
宝泉和臣に関してです。彼の非協力的な態度はもうご存知ですよね。
宝泉を退学に追い込みたいってことか？
そうだ。はい、そうです。に宝泉が関わっていると踏んでいます。
その仕返しってことか？
もちろん恨みを持っていないと言えば嘘になります。
で、その話と俺がどう結びつくんだ？
宝泉は外部の人間とは誰ともつるまない。でも綾小路先輩とは4月末の試験で組んだ。
俺が宝泉の味方である可能性は考慮しないのか？
それは。
その左手の怪我は宝泉くんと一悶着あった時についたものなんじゃないんですか？
しかし俺たちはもう手を引きました。
どうしてだ？
もし綾小路先輩を退学させられたとしても、そして2年 D クラスを敵に回すことになります。とにかく覚えておいてください。俺たちは宝泉を倒したいだけだということを。
それで要件は？
無人島試験のことだ。俺と組めよ、天沢。
スケベなこと考えてる？
ああ、
パンツ見たい？あんたの計画、どうして私を誘うわけ？
てめえが綾小路を退学させることにためらわない度胸を持ってるからだ。
見返りは？私たちは対等なはずです。以前そう話しましたよね。なるほど。でもあと一人は？
必要ねえよ。今度の無人島試験で勝つのはこの3人だ。
4クラスで協力して最強のグループを作るって話じゃなかった？
それを判断するのは D クラスを仕切る俺だ。意味はわかるな。
雑魚を代表として送り込むってわけね。に戻るけど、いくらくれるの？渡すポイントはありません。繰り返しますが、私たちは対等な関係です。はい、七瀬ちゃんは私についてこれる？試してみますか。まあ大胆ですね。なんだ、そういうあなたも普通じゃありませんね。どうかな。
Now I'm getting confused.
七瀬ちゃんがそれなりに動けるのは分かったけど、 協力するからには追加でももらわないとさ。綾小路先輩を退学させて得るポイントは全部私のもの。それが組む条件。
A クラスに2000万ポイントも流れるのはこの先を考えれば。
黙ってろ。天沢、賞金はくれてやる。
いいんですか本当に。彼女は平気で裏切るタイプだと思います。
俺は最初っからお前も天沢も信用してねえ。あいと一緒でそこの知らない部分を持ってやがる。
確かにそうかもしれません。それでも2000万は破格の条件ですよ。
俺が退学させたってなりゃ賞金を振り込む先も当然俺だ。奴が後でピーピー泣いたところで関係ねえ。この学校のイかれたルールに溺れていきそうでたまらねえぜ。
Oh, sorry if I wasn't much talkative this episode, but it's because I just wanted to concentrate, I guess, and try to ascertain where everybody is and who I think might be the spy among all these first years, you know. And it is so hard to figure out who it is. You know, I've been saying this ever since they introduced Yagami, right? That I felt like he was the spy. And then when they started this episode, he's the first person you see. He's in the room. He's waiting on other first years that came in. Utomiya's one of them, which at one point I was sort of confused. I was mixing Utomiya with Kanzaki. I was thinking that he was a second year, but no, he's first year. And then you have another person. What was his name? Did I write it down? Osamu. And then Hosen also showed up. And they were talking about creating this first year group of strong people. They're not going to be competing for points, and then they're going to come out on top out of this upcoming test. And truthfully, I don't fully understand it, but that's what they're thinking they're doing. Excuse me. And as I was watching them there, Osamu I'm gonna discard as being the spy. Hosen also, of course. And then I'm looking at Yagami and Utomiya, right? Hosen comes in there and he's using violence, right? And then Utomiya is like, stop it. And then he's like, make me. And then he tried to punch him, and then Utomiya stopped him. Like, held his hand or something or other. And just seeing that, I'm like, okay, it seems like Utomiya can fight, right? And I'm assuming that the spy, since Ayanokoji knows how to fight and knows other kinds of subjects and he's smart and everything, I'm assuming the spy that's coming from the White Room is also someone that can fight, right? And that person has to be smart as well. So when I see Utomiya holding back Hosen like that, I'm like, okay, so you can fight, right? That's a trait that the spy would have. And then I'm looking at Yagami also. That's basically laying the plan for the students to work together and how it's gonna help them in the long run and everything. And I'm like, okay, clearly you're smart too. So I'm thinking, okay, Yagami is still sort of like up there for me, you know, he's a spy. And then Utomiya is like, I'm keeping my eye on you too because clearly you can fight, you know. And then later in the episode, Yagami goes to Ayanokoji and he's telling him what the Nagumo, the reveal that Nagumo is the one that created this special test to get Ayanokoji expelled with Tsukishiro there. So they thought it was legitimate or whatever. So he's there telling Ayanokoji about all these first years, the people that were there when the test was dished out, I guess, and that he's gonna take himself out of it because he doesn't want to do all of this. And I'm like, you seem to be genuine in that moment, but it could also still be um a play, right? Like you're acting meek and like you're not here to hurt Ayanokoji, use any other kind of underhanded means to get Ayanokoji expelled, but you may still be the spy, you know. You're just playing this role in front of Ayanokoji right now to get him to basically sort of like drop his guard when he came to you. So it's like, yes, he seemed genuine in that moment, but it's like, I cannot discard you from being this white room spy just like that, you know. And then you also have what am I forgetting her name? Kushida there. That's like, okay, he knows about my past, so I need to get him expelled and all of that. And it just seemed like Yagami was acting at one point like he sort of like had feelings for Kushida or something or other. I don't know. Now it's like, even though I still think of him as the spy, I feel like my certainty when it came to him has lessened a bit. But okay. And then when it came to Utomiya, like I said, it seems like he can fight, although he just held Hosen's hand there. He didn't particularly do anything else, right? And then he went to Ayanokoji and then he's like, I need you to help me get Hosen expelled. And as I was watching him during that scene, he just seems like someone that's impulsive. And I don't think the white spy will be someone impulsive. You know? So I don't know. I'm thinking he is less the spy than anybody else. Even though he seemed like he could fight or something or other. And now I'm considering, now that I'm talking about it, I don't think he's the spy. I don't feel like he's the spy. But when it came to, what was the girl's name? Tsubaki. When it came to Tsubaki, I haven't seen much from her. But as Yagami was telling Ayanokoji about the test and everything, Ayanokoji looked far off and saw Tsubaki there looking at them or something or other. And then you have Tsubaki and Utomiya approach Ayanokoji, right, to talk about Hosen and everything. And then Ayanokoji is like, how do you know that I'm not his ally? And then Tsubaki is like, your hand, you heard that after fighting him or something or other like that, right? So she's observant. She doesn't speak much, but she's observant. Okay, so that right there displayed a little bit of intelligence on her part, but because I haven't seen much of her, I can't really be like, okay, you were the spy. But clearly she has something with her, right? So there's that. So looking at, if I were to rank between Yagami, Utomiya, and Tsubaki right now, Utomiya is like at the bottom. Yagami's first, and then you have Tsubaki, and then Utomiya's at the bottom, okay, of my list of who's the spy. Now you leave them, let's leave them three, and then you go to Hosen meeting up with Amasawa, and then Nanase also shows up, and they're talking about pairing up, and Amasawa was like, okay, if I do this, then want the 20 million points that we get for expelling Ayanokoji. At first, Nanase is like, no, let's not do that. But Hosen agreed. He just agreed, like verbally, he's not gonna go through with it should they get Ayanokoji expelled. But during that conversation, you have Amasawa sort of like taunting Nanase, and then she went for the punch, and then Nanase stopped her. So I'm like, okay. Excuse me. So Nanase is not a pushover. It seems like she can hold her own too. And then you have Amasawa that's like punching people. So it's like, okay, she can also, she has also some kind of physical ability, and she's smart. And you have Hosen there that's saying she has depths just like you do to Nanase. So I'm like, you do. Oh yeah. These people are I'm here watching this episode, like trying to figure out their motives and who could be the assassin. And I'm like, I watched the interaction between them three at the beginning of the episode, and then I'm watching the interaction between these three, and I'm seeing Nanase and Amasawa just display physicality, I guess. And I'm like, okay. Nanase is also smart, and then you have Amasawa that's also smart, and both of them seems to be physically, they can fight, it seems like. So it's like, between them two, Amasawa is at the top for me. Like, it's Amasawa, and then Nanase, and now then Yagami, and then Tsubaki, and then Utomiya. We have already discarded Hosen. Hosen is not the spy. So yeah, that's the ranking for me as it is now, as I've watched this episode. That's why I wasn't like talking this episode, because it was majorly focused on the first years. And I just wanted to sort of like gauge their personalities, their hidden intentions, and try to figure out who may be the spy. And so far, Amasawa is at the top. Yeah, she's at the top. Wait, do I want to say Nanase? Because I still don't believe that Nanase is even though she displays some things, I still don't believe that she's I'm gonna put Yagami second. Okay, let's see. Amasawa, Yagami, Nanase, Tsubaki, and then Utomiya. Yeah, let's do it like that. Okay, what has happened this episode? Ugh. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, there's not anything else that I could think about. So, thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, the link is going to be in the pinned comment, so you can just click on it and you can watch it right now. And you can also catch up for my previous Classroom of the Elite. There's a playlist in the comments as well. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. If you fuck up in a hole in the road, find a way back to the bone. You try not to both now, but the glare is not gonna not be a stop in my shadow beyond me.